If you have loved ones that rely on your income, you need life insurance. But finding the best quote shouldn't take a lifetime. With Policy Genius, you could save 50% or more by comparing quotes from America's top insurers. First, head to policygenius.com. In minutes, Policy Genius will compare prices starting at as little as $1 a day. You might even be eligible to fast-track your coverage with a no-exam policy. Once you apply, the Policy Genius team handles all the paperwork and red tape. If you have any questions, their team of licensed, independent experts is on hand to help. In fact, Policy Genius's award-winning service has a 5-star rating across thousands of reviews on Trustpilot and Google. Make today the day you cross life insurance off your list and get protection for your loved ones. You could save 50% or more by comparing quotes. To get covered, head to policygenius.com today.
Welcome to Budget Arcade, a free-to-play gaming podcast to help you navigate through the growing realm of free-to-play games. My name is Jeff.
And I am Mark.
And every 2 weeks we play a free-to-play game and review it. On these off weeks, we do something else. We don't know what, but last week we did the top 5 gaming consoles to much controversy. And we're going to attempt more controversy, or as they say in other countries, controversy. This week, as we present to you the Mount Rushmore of first-person shooters.
Our
Mount Rushmore is... Go ahead, Mark.
Well, I was just going to ask if our Mount Rushmore included the Donald Trump of first-person shooters.
Let's get political. You know I can't. I love it. I love being political. It's not polarizing at all.
No, it's very mundane.
Yeah, most anyone is willing to listen to someone's opinion that is different than theirs, weigh it, and then respectfully disagree. Everyone is able to do that. So,
I love doing that on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, it's the best place. Social media is the best place. The second best place is on a podcast where everyone can hear you. So what we're going to do is Mark and I each have brought 4 first-person shooters to the table. And we can only have a total of 4 on the Budget Arcade Mount Rushmore first-person shooters. So if we both bring the same one, obviously it's automatically on the Mount Rushmore. Where it's going to be complicated is when we have differences and we need to debate it out and come up with the definitive 4 first-person shooters that belong on Mount Rushmore of Budget Arcade's first-person shooter. Does that make sense?
It sounds good to me.
Okay, Mark. Well, I'm going to start off with one that I'm pretty sure we both are going to immediately agree on. It's something we talked about last time you and I did a solo show, or did one of these off-week shows, and that is going to be Halo Combat Evolved.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, and that's on your list as well?
Yep. I kind of had Can Master Chief be 2 of the 4 faces of this Mount Rushmore?
So my thing is because it is a Mount Rushmore, let's think about it as a Mount Rushmore, right? And so you're going to see the face. So when you see Master Chief on Mount Rushmore, it's going to probably just represent Halo as a series. But my specific pick is Halo Combat Evolved. But if you want to say Halo 2 or Halo Reach or whichever your favorite is, I'm fine with that because it's just going to be Master Chief's head on the mountain.
Yeah, I loved both Combat Evolved and Halo 2, and I have on my list, I have Halo/Halo 2, just because I think Halo 2 improved so much on the little things that the first Halo didn't do so well. And it just improved on them immensely. But Halo Combat Evolved is what started and what evolved first-person shooters, especially when you talk about Microsoft and Xbox gaming and online gaming as well.
So let's do this. You can make the call. Halo 1 or Halo 2. I will be perfectly happy with either. Ooh. They both are fantastic.
It's difficult. It's difficult because they both do so much so well. They like
I really prefer the campaign in Halo 1.
Right.
I think it's better, and then the multiplayer in Halo 2 is better because you have that online, where if you don't have to worry about setting up that LAN party. But those LAN parties, as we discussed before, are the best.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, that's my definitive memory of the Halo, of really the Halo franchise, because I didn't really care for Halo 3. But, what Combat Evolved did paved the way for Halo 2, and then Halo 2 paved the way for so many other games. Honestly, I think the having Master Chief's head up there as the Halo franchise is probably a good call.
Sounds good to me. So we'll just say Halo as a franchise, I suppose. As a way to really cheapen what we're doing. Not that it matters at all. So do you want to go next? Give me a first-person shooter.
Yeah, sure. So probably one of my favorite games of all time, Bioshock. And
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Bioshock, when it came out, was such a different shooter. And it blended so much more than you were expecting from just a first-person shooter, and the look of the game, the weapons in the game, just simply because it took place decades before you're playing it, so the weapons are a little older. However, they have a new feel to them, as a first time when you're playing it for the first time. The story, one of the best stories ever told in a video game.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And wait, have you never played this game?
I've not finished it. I played a bit of it.
No.
But no, I have not finished it.
Oh no. That might.
So well, needless to say, it is not on my list, but I know of its legend and its legacy, so I'm willing to consider it. For the Budget Arcade Mount.
So, and just the games that it inspired, the Dishonored series, where Dishonored was a very good game. The second one, I didn't, not so much, but the video game Singularity, which was another Bioshock inspired title. It's Prey. I guess the most recent iteration of Prey.
And I think they have a new game that is basically Dishonored 3, but titled something different, that I saw like one of maybe it was the Xbox showcase or the PlayStation showcase. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but
I think it was the Xbox. I don't remember what it's called, but you're right. It very much looked like, it
had the same teleport mechanic as Dishonored and all that.
Right. So, that's... I think what Bioshock did is it introduced a new way to tell a story in a first person shooter, and it did the horror feel very well. It's the gameplay mechanics were top notch. I really think you should. I think it's a gaming sin to start Bioshock and not finish it.
Yeah, and they have released like the trilogy remastered, which I might do because I hear Infinite is also quite good.
Yeah, I liked all of the Bioshock titles. They Infinite's a little bit different. It takes a little bit. It takes you out of the setting of Rapture, the underground or the underwater city, and puts you in the sky. It's in the city in the sky. But same universe, same all the same mechanics and storytelling is evident in Infinite. But I think the original Bioshock is the best one of the Bioshock franchise, and
Okay.
that would be on my budget arcade Mount Rushmore.
Well, it is not on my side, but again, we'll put that to the side and consider it. As obviously there's going to be something on mine that's not on yours, because that's just the way math works. So I'm going to save the one that I'm most passionately going to fight for that I don't think is on your list for last.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with another one I think we both probably have on our list, and it's a game that I really, really didn't want to include. But when I think back of all the first-person shooters I played in life, it can't not be on the list, and that's Goldeneye 007.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Is that on your list?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're the Nintendo 64 guy. You know, we've discussed, not my favorite console, but holy cow, was that game great. Like the multiplayer, or the split screen multiplayer, the first time you could screen watch a friend, and I remember one of the levels, I'd hide up in the vents in the bathroom and then drop down and kill someone. The campaign was great. The graphics at the time were good. You could shoot somebody in the knee and they would react like they'd been shot in the knee. That's not, even today, sometimes you see games that don't do that, but, and then of course all the multiplayer fun and the terrible person that you find out which of your friends are terrible people by the ones who select odd job. So
I think one thing that GoldenEye did so well is the weapons. It had the golden gun, that was the gun to get, and when you're playing with your friends and you're right. It was such a great multiplayer game that the Nintendo 64, because it pioneered the 4-controller system, that you had no choice but to have fun when you played this game, and so many other games tried to copycat what GoldenEye 64 did on the Nintendo 64, and that's how it was a definitive game of its era.
Yeah, and it made a brand that wasn't really a brand. So, for years afterwards, anytime a 007 game would come out, no matter who it was developed or published by, people were like, oh, well, I love GoldenEye, I'll check this out. Not knowing, as we do now, we've got the internet and we can research these things and see who made what. It just I think there's plenty of games that sold just because they had 007 on the cover, not just because it was Bond,
right,
but because people have really fond memories of this game, of GoldenEye. And then, of course, the sort of one sitting in the background is Perfect Dark, which is fantastic as well. It's this game, but better, I think. However, similar to the Halo argument, Perfect Dark never exists if it weren't for 007.
Right, and this whole list is, for me, is really, who paved the way, It's because if
I have a modern game for you, so that's where I'm expecting us to butt heads. But all right, so I want to see if you can pick something that's on my list. So give me another first-person shooter.
Let's go with, how about Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare?
On my list.
Okay.
Very well done.
Good. No, I mean it's the best Call of Duty game. I mean, we're talking, I don't know how many Call of Duty games have been made since, but everybody recalls back to Modern Warfare and the maps and the weapons and the placement of things in the maps, and and its campaign was good too. It's
I'm thinking of that theatrical campaign.
Yeah.
The nuke that goes off in the middle. Is it this one where the nuke goes off, or was it 2? It was this one.
Yeah. Was this one also
It was this one.
Was this one also the airport?
No, that was 2.
Okay.
2 was the controversial airport one.
Yeah. But no, I mean, this I think Call of Duty's been kind of chasing its the franchise has been chasing its tail ever since Modern Warfare, trying to recapture everything that game did well. And I don't think there's been a Call of Duty game since that has.
I really like Modern Warfare 2, but like you said, if we're looking at where things started, because I'm enjoying the latest Modern Warfare, but we're not. But it feels just like this old one.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing about Modern Warfare 4 or Modern Warfare Call of Duty 4 is that once they put this game on the market, they threw their hands up and said, well, we're just going to do this over and over again. And occasionally they'll do like a World War II game or something like that. But so much of that feeling of the game and how it plays and the XP system with leveling your weapons. And I'm not a Call of Duty historian, so maybe the series has done it beforehand, but that multiplayer XP really made the game addictive. And I think the series of Call of Duty really has just kind of mirrored this game for here on out, been very little innovation on it because it was so ahead of its time.
Yeah. And, and it really paved the way for the multiplayer. Right, like you said, it was ahead of its time. I think they haven't remastered this game, have they?
Yes, they have.
Oh, they have. Okay. I haven't played the remastered version, but I'm hoping they didn't do anything different with it, and they just upgraded the graphics. And
yeah, I'm not sure because I didn't touch it because I kind of got burnt out on. I played Modern Warfare 2 and enjoyed it, but kind of after that, I stopped playing until Warzone came out, and now I'm right back in it.
Yeah.
Where we are now is we have 3 of 4 of our heads on Mount Rushmore. We've got Master Chief from the Halo series. We've got James Bond himself from 007, and then finally one of the normal grizzled Marine people from Modern Warfare or whoever on our what am I wanting to say? Mount Rushmore. On our Mount Rushmore. So what we now have is you have a game and I have a game that we're going to have to debate whether or not it makes it onto our Mount Rushmore.
Yep.
Anyone who's listened to this podcast for any amount of time or knows me personally knows what game's coming next. Do you know? I don't think I've talked about it as much with you because I have kind of backed away from it.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
It's Overwatch.
Oh, okay.
I love Overwatch so much. It came out, and again, I've been burnt out on playing games where you drop in a map like Call of Duty, you get murdered, you respawn, you get murdered, you respawn, and here's this hero shooter where, no, it didn't create the genre, but it popularized it. I mean, you can look at Team Fortress, and I think even Paladins predated Overwatch, and those were fine, but it put the Blizzard polish on the hero shooter and has created iconic heroes. And I think you can point at the way the game's changed and kind of make an argument about that, but I have spent so many hours just playing this game. I picked it up and the first character I played as was Reaper. And he had these shotguns and you run around and shoot. And when I got kind of bored, I'd switch to a new character and I'd get addicted all over again. And I would just rinse and repeat, just get bored with one character, get addicted with another, play with my friends. The game requires you to be good at teamwork. It's one of my all-time favorite games.
So I'm going to let you know and let everybody else know that I never played this game. I'm not a big I'm
reason
not a big multiplayer gamer. So it just never appealed to me. Like I know all about Overwatch, and I know how good of a game it appears to be, and everything I've read on it. Multiplayer games nowadays don't really do much for me. I'll play them, and for the most part I'll enjoy them. But I'm a big solo guy. I love
it's Bioshock.
Yeah, no, I love a good story behind the game. But I know like you with Bioshock, I know of the Overwatch lore, and with how good of a game. I think IGN, so many people gave it like 10 out of 10 reviews, and it just when it came out, like 5-6 years ago?
No, 4. I think we're on the 4th anniversary.
Oh, okay.
4 or 5. 4. I want to say 4.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not an old game by any means. So I think it's hard for me to get behind a game that's so young on a typical Mount Rushmore, just simply because, one, I've never played it, and two, I don't know, does it stand the test of time? Is
right, because time hasn't told us yet.
Right, it does. Well, I don't know.
So here I'm going to make some arguments for you, and I'm going to concede this point,
okay,
and allow Bioshock to be on the Budget Arcade Mount Rushmore. Because even as I explain the game, I'm thinking of some of the things that frustrate me about it. It is an online-only game, and if that's not your bag, you're going to be stuck playing with toxic players. And they constantly update the game, which is great. You get new characters, and then the game occasionally will just become completely unbalanced, right? But to me, it's like the characters are so iconic and likable, and I just love the game. I enjoy playing it a lot, but I've really kind of stopped recently because Modern Warfare and playing Warzone has kind of taken over, because that's what my friends are playing. So once my friends stopped playing Overwatch, I was like, well, I guess I'm done. And then whenever Overwatch 2 comes out, I'm sure we'll all dive back in. And I said at the beginning I was going to fight tooth and nail for this, but in all honesty, I can get why. Like, if the game had just come out, I'd say, Mark, get the game, let's go.
Yeah.
But I think the Overwatch we have today, it's hard for me to give you a reason to jump in the game. It's hard for me to say that it's a good game to jump into anymore.
Yeah, it's so like
it's a.
And that was when I was trying to go through this list and pick who, what games I would put on this this mountain. And I was having like recency bias, is that there's been a lot of really good shooters to come out in the past 5, 6, 7 years. But do we really harken back to those games like we do with a GoldenEye 64, a Halo?
Well, here's a couple things about GoldenEye and why it was tough for me to put on this list. GoldenEye has not aged well. It is virtually unplayable. It really is not fun to play anymore. The controls are weird. The way when you aim, your reticle actually moves on the screen, and it doesn't stay center like it does in every other modern game. And being kind of the first of its kind, as far as being like a good console shooter, it has a lot of flaws. So I can point at Halo and say, boom, that game's still great. Halo 1.
Well, let me ask you this, because the Xbox, the original Xbox, still has a better shelf life than the Nintendo 64 does. What if Nintendo was to remaster GoldenEye 64 with an online multiplayer? Would you dive back in?
No, because they've tried that. Like, other companies have tried it.
Really?
And, like, I've played remastered versions of Perfect Dark, and it just doesn't work. Like, Perfect Dark has not aged well either. And it's just kind of stuck in this archaic way. Things have been improved so much that it's like the Atari, right? The Atari is this classic console. But I can't go back and play any of those games because we've come so far. I can go back and play the Nintendo or the Genesis and play some good games. But that, even though it is one of the grandfathers of gaming, it just hasn't aged well. And that's kind of how I feel about 007. It's just not fun to play anymore.
I mean, you may be right because I haven't played the game in so long. But
yeah, and if you don't believe me, pick it up. Go find a copy or emulate or whatever. But I think you'll be surprised how much it doesn't play well anymore.
Well, and I think and I wonder, Nintendo has remastered a lot of games recently, from whether it was Ocarina of Time on the 3DS or
Link's Awakening, the most recent one.
Yeah, right. I think they did Majora's Mask. They did
those 3DS Majora's Mask.
Yeah, so
Ocarina.
So
they did.
I kind of.
What was the one they did on the Wii U? Wind Waker.
Yeah, they did. Well, they did Wind Waker for the Wii. Yeah, the Wii U. But I often wonder why with Gold. And I realize was GoldenEye 64 a first party game for them?
No, I don't think so because it's Rare. No, it might. I don't know because Rare.
Well, wasn't Rare a studio owned by Nintendo?
That's a good question. I'm not certain of. I don't know how to answer that because they ended up getting bought by Microsoft. Like Microsoft owns Rare now, and so
because
they have the Perfect Dark license, which they came out with a bad Perfect Dark game and stuff like that.
Didn't Rare make the Donkey Kong series too?
They did the DK 64, yeah.
Yeah, so I think and Rare might have been owned by Nintendo at one point.
Yeah, or at least they were heavily employed by Nintendo. So I think we've kind of hit it then. I think we've got our Budget Arcade official, and Scott said he would have liked to have been a part of this so he can mention games like CSGO, and garbage like that.
What the hell is that game?
We said, no, you cannot bring that here.
Is he talking? Are we talking Counter-Strike?
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here.
Counter-Strike. Not CSGO, but the original Counter-Strike.
Yeah, get out of here.
I mean, there are honorable mentions. There's, Half-Life. There's Doom. I mean, in all honesty, we should probably take one of these down and put Doom on there.
Well, if we're gonna put Doom on there, we got to put Duke Nukem on there too. So,
no, I think you can put Doom and leave Duke Nukem off. Duke Nukem's great, but Doom to me is like the quintessential first-person shooter, like the original.
Well, I had such a
granted you can't aim up and down; it was just side to side. And then if you say that, maybe we got to do Wolfenstein.
Oh, I had Wolfenstein was on my honorable mention. Yeah, I just had a hard time deciding between Doom and Duke Nukem that I left them both off.
Yeah. So, like, if I were to change anything, maybe I'd take Modern Warfare off and put a Doom. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I kind of feel comfortable leaving Bioshock on there is because, unlike the rest of these games, there's no multiplayer component.
Yeah.
It really is just the first-person shooter as a way of conveying a story, and I think that's pretty nice to have.
Yeah. No. If I was to take one off and put one on, I might include Left 4 Dead.
That was on. Not a short list, but a long list for me. Like, yeah, if we were doing top 10, maybe Left 4 Dead would be on there. But
yeah, no, Left 4 Dead was one of those where it was just on the cusp of my top ones, just simply because it was such a unique first person shooter multiplayer game. that introduced so much into multiplayer gaming.
I wish Valve would sell the rights to it and allow someone to make another one.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't so much like Left 4 Dead 2.
Well, it's the same game,
right? It was like an expansion.
Yeah,
but no, I agree. I think Left 4 Dead is one of those games where I don't know if you need another one.
Yeah,
it's just kind of like Bioshock. You don't need a second Bioshock. You don't need a Doom. Now, speaking of Doom, have you played the latest Doom?
not Eternal.
Yeah,
and I haven't played the one before it. I want to play the one before it.
Doom Eternal is
I
good.
Just haven't.
That's
okay.
You just said you haven't played it.
I got plenty of games to play. I got to play this Hyperscape game.
I haven't even touched that yet. Yeah. So okay, all right.
It's actually not bad.
So, let's blend the political and our Mount Rushmore, and
okay.
let's nominate a Donald Trump first-person shooter.
What does that mean? Like what? Okay, so you are opening a can. I don't know where you stand politically, but so nominating a Donald Trump in first-person shooters would mean you would be able to tell a lot about a person's opinion by the game they select. So let's do this, okay? Let's you and I, not saying how we feel about our current president,
sure,
select a game that best represents his, what would you call it? His tenure as president?
Okay.
Okay, so let me think for a minute. I got nothing.
I got nothing. Yeah, no, I'm having to rack my brain a little bit for all of the lesser known first person shooters. I mean, I've played a lot of bad games.
I'm trying to think of one that's just like all hype and no substance. Anyway, I'm not going to say whether I approve or disapprove of our current president, but you can reach out to us and let us know what first-person shooters you think need to be on our Mount Rushmore that we missed. Obviously, Doom being probably one of them. I think Doom should probably be on there. But you can hit us up at Twitter and Instagram at Budget Arcade. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/Budget Arcade. We have a website, www.budgetarcade.com. You can go to hotkeygaming/budget-arcade and pick up some merch. Be sure to use promo code ButtBiscuits. Our music is by Stimmage. You can listen to his music at metroidmetal.com. What's that?
I was just going to say, shout out the Twitter handles.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
I know exactly the first-person shooter. The South Park one on Nintendo 64.
Oh.
It's crude, it's foul, and it's not any fun to play. I don't know. I got nothing.
Wasn't there like a Mickey Mouse first person shooter, like a Fantasia game where you played as Mickey Mouse and you had a wand? Or maybe I'm thinking of Harry Potter. I don't know. But I think either one of those games, whether they exist or not, were terrible. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it was a Mickey Mouse game.
All right, well,
I don't know.
So next week on the show, we're going to be reviewing Hyperscape, which is a battle royale game. You can download it now and play along. And then in 2 weeks, myself and Mark will be back. We're actually going to be reviewing the new Netflix docuseries called High Score. So you can watch that now and then come back and listen to us kind of recap it. And
that's a documentary, right?
It's a 6-part docuseries. I watched the first part, and it's pretty good.
Okay.
So Netflix always does a good job with their docuseries, so you can check that out.
For sure.
All right. Well, this is Budget Arcade.
Bye.